So I normally don't say this about video games, especially on this channel when it comes down to it. You guys know that I have a pretty high bar when it comes to RPGs and when it comes to video games just in general. I'm an old school guy myself, been playing games for 30 plus years at this point, been playing a lot of RPGs and a lot of games. But I think I can honestly say that Shin Megami Tensei V is not only one of the best RPGs of all time, it's one of the best games of all time. And I'm going to break it down in my own opinion here. Now, you guys are free to agree or disagree based on whatever I have to say here, but this is not something that I feel that I'm capping crunching on here, guys. I know a lot of you guys from the live streams know what I'm talking about, or that I feel that I'm exaggerating when it comes down to it. And like I stated, we're going to go ahead and get into everything here. But before we do, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. And let's go ahead and start off here. What makes Shin Megami Tensei V so special? Why am I addicted to this game to the point to where I have to make sure that I tell myself, yo, OJ, do not play this game in the morning, because if you play it in the morning, you'll get so addicted to playing the game that you'll forget to exercise, that you'll forget to eat, that you'll forget to work, that you'll forget to clean the house, that you'll forget to do so many things that an adult would need to do during the day in order to function properly and live a normal life and do what you need to do when it comes to taking care of business. And I made the mistake of playing just this previous morning, and I regretted that because I was late to get all the other stuff done. But that's beside the point here. I'm 85 hours plus into Shin Megami Tensei V, and I don't feel the slightest bit of fatigue. I'll be completely honest here, guys. This isn't a direct comparison, but when it comes to a lot of other RPGs that I've played over the course of the years, I do get fatigued. Once I get into the, I would say, 60, 70 hour range, there is a level of fatigue with the RPG that I get to. And that's with every single one. Persona, it's like that. Even Pokemon games before in the past, it's been like that, even though I've played tons of hours, but that's for the multiplayer component. Many RPGs, even sometimes Xenoblade Chronicles games, I get a little bit fatigued at times, then I need something new to kind of stimulate me and kind of get into my brain and say, okay, well, this is what we're doing now, or this is what I'm getting now. But I have not felt a slightest ounce of fatigue in Shin Megami Tensei V. That right there is already a huge accomplishment for this game, a huge tick on the box, like, okay, this is something special, because I've played so many RPGs in my life and I've put so many hours into so many RPGs, and this game seems to just suck my time over and over and over and over again, to the point to where I can put 80 something hours in there and I feel like, yo, I want to go again. I'm thinking about this game all the time when I stream, when I'm exercising at times. It's kind of scary. I don't know if I like that, but at the same time, it's dope to know that that's how good, in my opinion at least, this game is. Really, honestly, I would not say that about the game if it wasn't. And I don't think I've said that about any other RPG on the Nintendo Switch that I've talked about. But what makes this game so great? Why is it so addicting? What is the sauce, the special sauce? And I think that it's a mixture of everything that I'm about to talk about here. Everything, even from the system that it's on, all the way to the graphics, to the gameplay, the environments, the story, everything, the structure of the game. There are so many things that make this game fantastic. So let's first talk about just the stuff that you see from the beginning. Graphics. Obviously, the style, presentation, graphics, kind of different, right? Different from maybe what you'd expect, different from what we've seen before on the Nintendo Switch. Obviously does not run or look as if it's the best game ever made, but at the same time, for a open-ended RPG on the Nintendo Switch, it looks really good, and the art style is fantastic. That's one thing that Atlas, I think, does at an extremely high level, higher than a lot of other developers that are bigger than them, is that they know how to put together art styles with the game. When you play SMT, you're like, yeah, that's a dark, gritty SMT art style. When you play Persona, that's the light, more whimsical, type of art style, anime-ish slickness that I want in that game. It's exactly what you want when it comes down to it. And I think that for the SMT universe, for what they're doing in there and this style of game, it makes perfect sense. And it makes it look, in my opinion, as one of the best games when it comes to a graphic and a style that's on the Nintendo Switch, hands down. I don't think there's many big RPGs that look better than Shin Megami Tensei V. And it kind of wraps it up with the presentation, the music, the cutscenes, the UI, the fonts, even like the animations of how the demons move and what you can do with them, the look of them when some of them are dancing and doing different things. It really just makes it all fit together, and it puts a smile on your face. A smile on your face that can turn into a frown with the blink of an eye if you make one mistake. And we're going to go ahead and get into that when it comes down to it. The structure of the game, the miracles in the game that help you fight at an efficient level, especially if you're playing the game on hard. And I think, to me, that's where this game really shines, because you can play on any difficulty. There's a safety mode that you can download just in case you don't want it to be too hard and you don't want to get wiped out. There's no auto saving in this game. You have to go to the actual place and save it like an old school RPG, which I love. By the way, there is an easy mode in the game, which you're probably not going to die if you just make sure that you're not completely incompetent when it comes to things. Then there's the normal mode, which you can definitely die if you don't pay attention. And then there's the hard mode. And there's even something else, but we're just going to talk about the hard mode, which is there at the beginning of the game for you to pick. And I decided that I wanted to get the most out of this game. I wanted to make sure that I went into it and I said, okay, I want the game to give me everything that it's got. So I have to use the mechanics and really know the game in and out to get through. I can't just cakewalk through it. I want to experience this game, and really, if I'm going to review it, if I'm going to get this game to the point where I need to get it in my brain to really function and really talk about it, I want them to throw things at me. So I have to be forced to use the miracles and be forced to actually use the game so I can get an advantage on the demons. And that was the best thing that I can do, because I'm not a Shin Megami Tensei Pro by any means. I think there's a lot of better gamers out there when it comes to SMT. Although I've beaten some of the older ones on harder difficulties and I've beaten Persona and I've done all that, I know how to play, but it's not like I'm the greatest gamer of all time or anything like that. So I definitely wanted a challenge here, but I wanted to use the game's mechanics because I saw that there was a lot of potential in there, and I think that's what makes me elevate this game up. Just because when you do put it on hard, you are constantly thinking, your brain is constantly going into, okay, what demons am I going to fuse? I need to make sure that I look around all of this environment. I need to make sure that I collect this stuff in between battles so I can have a better chance. I need to make sure that I go into the world of shadows, which is the demon fusion system, the upgrading system. I need to make sure that I have my miracles set. I need to make sure that I tune it to the way that I want to play. I can tune and fine tune the battles and fuse the demons into how I want to play. I can take my Nahobino, the main character, and make him the type of character that I want him to be. Magic? Do I want him to be really heavy on a tank, on defensive? Do I want him to be more offensive and just being able to attack people? What type of moves do I want? You have these essences that you can get, and you can completely customize not only yourself when it comes to moves, but also your demons as well, changing your affinities, changing your skills, and it really gives you that layer and layer and layer of depth, but laid out very simply and clean with the UI, with tutorials to make sure that you understand and you kind of know what you need to do to get done what you need to get done. And that's what I love the most about Shin Megami Tensei. The battle system with SMT5, with the miracles and the super meters and the different talesmen for certain special attacks that you can do, and miracles that combine with that in order for you to take advantage of certain enemies, is just fantastic. There is always another thing that you can do. You go and get wiped by an enemy, well, you don't necessarily have to level up 10 levels or anything like that. You can completely switch around your strategy, fuse new demons, kind of do a couple different things there, level up, get some miracles, do what you need to do, and then you can come back at pretty much the same level with demons that maybe are even lower in, I would say, level, and you could win if your strategy is good. And that is the addictive gameplay loop of Shin Megami Tensei V. There's constantly that challenge out there. You constantly want to get better and fuse and get different demons. You want to make sure that you order and position yourself in the right way. You want to defeat the abscess so you can get new miracles. You want to use those miracles in order to drive your own personal combat style. And that, once again, just creates this addictive gameplay loop where you feel like you're in control and you're in power there with Nahobino and these demons. Now, one of the games that I really love, or two games that I really love, is Pokemon, which that was my old favorite Nintendo IP. And pretty much my current favorite, or one of my current favorites, is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, or Xenoblade Chronicles X, the Xenoblade series. Well, this game, Shin Megami Tensei, takes Pokemon, essentially, because you control those demons. You fuse them, make them, you put their moves, and they fight with you. When you have 4 people, you have Nahobino and 3 demons. And then it also takes Xenoblade with the open-ended structure. This is not like Persona. You're not constantly getting interrupted by calendars. You're not constantly going on dates or having to do stuff like that. You're not taking exams or tests or anything like that. It gives you the world because there is a mission that you need to do, and it's very serious. You're pretty much going to work as a student and not necessarily going through all these other things. The structure allows you to keep playing and keep playing. You want to grind things out and level up as much as you want, grind out Mitamas and power level, you can do that. You want to explore all around and get everything that you can get in the level, you can do that. You want to fight super bosses at the beginning of the game or do your best to power up and do it, you can do that too. And that's the Xenoblade factor. It kind of gives you this area to kind of run around in and these areas to go to, and you can explore at your own whim. You're not tied down or restricted or held back by certain things and having to say, okay, I can only grind here for a certain amount of time. I have to keep going down in these dungeons or labyrinths. The world is right there for you to attack, play, fight, and go through. So that structure, to me, with the Pokemon type of gameplay mixed in with the Xenoblade type of environments and structure, and then with the solid gameplay mechanics of Shin Megami Tensei V, makes this game, to me, now that I've played over 85 hours of it and I haven't even like broke a sweat, I'm not even the slightest bit tired of this game. And I still have more to go in the game because when you play the game on hard, it's just harder to level up. You have to think more. The battles go a little bit slower because you have to make sure that you know what you're doing when it comes down to it. But the fact that I'm not even the slightest bit fatigued with this game and I want to just play and play and play it, to me, that makes it one of the best games of all time to me, combined with everything that I've said here, especially on the Nintendo Switch. Even if you want to look at it that way, you don't agree with me with best game of all time, which I think most of you guys probably wouldn't, considering most of you guys haven't played it at this point, and obviously it doesn't have the reviews to be in the league of a lot of the best games of all time. But I'm telling you, as an RPG aficionado, as somebody who has played pretty much every single major RPG out there, especially major JRPGs, I've played them all. I think that there's so many good ones out there. SMT5, especially amongst, I would say, turn-based RPGs, it's hard for me to say there's any other turn-based RPG that I like more outside of Shin Megami Tensei V, maybe with the exception of like Chrono Trigger. That would be like the game that I would say is like, okay, Chrono Trigger is there. But outside of that, it's hard for me to put another turn-based RPG above it, or even other RPGs. This is by far one of the best, if not the best, turn-based RPG on the Nintendo Switch, and I think one of the best games of all time as well, now that I just can't put this game down. I think addictiveness is what makes me think that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games of all time, because you can just get sucked in and the mechanics are so good and you're always looking and looking around and you're not stopped by anything. You have your freedom to do what you want to do. And I think that SMT5 has a little bit of that DNA in it as well, along with like Xenoblade and Pokemon. So I feel that there's just so much going with this game, and I'm trying my best not to exaggerate, and I don't think I am. I think that so many people have played SMT5 at this point kind of echo what I'm saying with how addicted they are to it. The strategy, the difficulty, the options, the story, everything just gels. Everything just melds so well. It just works. And it's to the point to where I had to make this video talking about it. And I'll probably make another video after I get 100+ hours or after I completely beat everything in the game. But those are my thoughts when it comes to Shin Megami Tensei V. One of the best RPGs of all time, one of the best games of all time, and the best RPG on the Nintendo Switch. When it comes to new RPGs on the system, I think it's the best one. So yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. So what are your thoughts when it comes to Shin Megami Tensei V? Are you enjoying it? Am I capping crunching over here? Am I exaggerating when it comes to things? Do you feel it's as good? Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.